Biden administration, in a formal statement, has confirmed that it will not implement the TikTok ban on January 19th.
Over the last 24 hours, a ton of news has come out about the TikTok ban, and both parties are fighting over who gets to save it, but for extremely different and important reasons. On top of that, Biden gave his farewell speech and Trump released his inauguration headshot, both bone-chilling, and they tie back into this. So today I'm going to simply and quickly walk you through the complete history of the TikTok ban so you can better understand the trajectory of the path we're on and things as they unfold. Because again, both parties are fighting over this for two extremely different reasons. I think every single American needs to hear this information right now. Okay, so throwback to 2020, we all remember when Trump was going off about China and how China is like the bad guy, right? And he originally introduced a ban of TikTok. He is the one who put this all on the table and started this whole hate campaign against China. I feel like people are forgetting that he's the one who originally set all of this in motion. I wasn't around as much back then, but somehow it was stopped or delayed repeatedly, and they've been trying to push it ever since. So then in April of 2024, we remember this last year, they saw the perfect opportunity to sneak it in this overseas funding bill that was urgent and had to be passed right away. That was a super dirty play because if they had sent it back to be rewritten and taken out of there, right, it would have taken too much time. So they signed off on it, they sent it to Biden, and he signed it immediately to get that funding overseas. So now at this point, it's a bipartisan incident, which means both parties are to blame. They're all equally uninformed about this as they were briefed to understand that it is that national security risk that we all keep hearing about, but not seeing. People, especially the youth, are now really upset about this, and we all remember what happened in July through November-ish. That's right, the candidates were trying to appeal to voters and win votes. So in my opinion, Donnie's team saw how many people were upset by this, and he decided to flip sides and actually say, you know what? I think I'm here for that as long as you support me. And it worked. It was a bold marketing move, but I always suspected it was just lip service or there was an ulterior motive, and we'll get to that. Because next up, remember, TikTok tried to appeal it in the US courts, and the appeal got denied. They were going to uphold the ban that was originally signed in April by literally everybody. And in this moment, the argument is still, we're not taking your access to free speech, right? We're just taking a single platform. You still have access to Meta, which is Instagram, Facebook. You can do Google, that has YouTube. There isn't currently a monopoly at this point. There's tons of other companies you can use that are competitive. So they decide to press this matter to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court is still undecided on this. And why is it getting less and less black and white as time goes on? There are a few huge factors that come into play that make the Dems who supported this originally start to realize, oh no, we may have accidentally fell victim to the right's fake argument that this is a security risk. All those other platforms that you could originally turn to that were not a monopoly are starting to suck up to Donnie. That's right, Elon of Twitter, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Mark Zuckerberg, who owns all of Meta, and even I believe the guy who owns Google started donating to this guy. What does that mean? Well, in my least favorite I told you so moment, there's that word I've been using for quite some time. Biden shares his farewell speech, and it is the most bone-chilling, straightforward speech a president could possibly give. It is a direct warning to the United States, circling back to that word I keep seeing, pointing out that the right is consolidating power, and specifically ownership of the news and media. I think it's no coincidence that he releases this very serious speech, and immediately after they release that they're looking up ways to try and save TikTok. Statistically, I think it's like 40 or 50% of young people get their news directly from TikTok, and I think we were finally actually loud enough to get them to hear us when we said, if this app goes away, everything else is slowly becoming under total control of this guy. You might ask yourself, well, why does he say that he wants to save TikTok too then? Well, for the same reason his inauguration photo looks like a nefarious supervillain. The same reason he invited the TikTok CEO to his inauguration to try and butter him up. Because he doesn't mean save TikTok as in let them run freely. He keeps saying that he wants to extend the ban to give them more time to figure something out. Can you read between the lines on that? I'll give you a hint of what I think he's trying to figure out on his end. And unfortunately, I think where we're at currently is that Biden has discovered that he can't stop the ban at this point. He can just publicly announce that they're not going to enforce it, but he's also out of office on Sunday. So that buys us like maybe a few extra days until we get more news.